Yo, what's going on, everyone? How y'all doing today? This is Mr. C here from the 850, aka the president of Noire Investment Group, and we're here with another Noire TV meeting time for you this afternoon. I have my vice president with me today, Miss Angie. Miss Angie, how you doing today?
I'm blessed. I'm very well, thanks. How are you?
I am doing very, very good. Life is great for me right now. What I've been telling people is I'm fantabulous. So I'm kind of combining and merging a few things together and really just working with it like such. So
Good,
fantabulous.
good.
And secondly, we have our new treasurer, Dr. Tahisha Quarles. Did I say that right? Doctor. Did y'all hear that? I said Doctor,
Yeah.
Dr. Tahisha Quarles. How are you doing today, ma'am?
I'm wonderful. Hi, everybody.
Good deal, good deal. And this is your first time joining us for Noire TV. So can you give everyone a little bit about your background? Just introduce yourself to the audience out there, and then we'll kind of get into our show a little bit.
Sure. So I am from North Carolina and New York. I've been in Pensacola the last 18 years. I'm an Army veteran. For most of my time since I've been out of the Army, I've been helping military members and veterans find better jobs and get connected to benefits, and most recently help them access their education benefits with a variety of education programs. And my specialty is managing large portfolios for the government, up to $15 million at times of portfolio for the government. And I enjoy just working with people, and I enjoy making money. So I'm ready to dig into this conversation.
There we go. We are on it. She likes making money, right? Did y'all hear that? So I have Dr. Quarles with me, who is Madam Treasurer. We have our Madam VP. Madam Founder is not available tonight. And you have myself, right? I'm still the only guy on the call, right? So without further ado, I want to talk to y'all out there in the audience. I want y'all to drop something in the chat for me. I want you to drop your favorite stock that you're looking at right now. So if you're looking at the market, you're active in the market, go ahead and put that call sign in the chat group for me right now. Just put that in the chat. And if you're not in the market, you're not investing right now, just say IDK, right? Just put hashtag IDK. I don't know, because y'all be talking that strange language and I don't know what y'all talking about, but I'm going to sit here and watch and see what y'all doing, and then I might take a look at it later, right? So if you don't know, just put IDK in the chat. But if you know what you're doing and you know what you're looking at, some things that interest you, I want you to pull that up and go ahead and drop that in the chat for me. We'll pull what you're looking at in the chat. We'll pull that up on the screen a little bit later. And don't forget, if you got questions, feel free to drop those in the chat as well. So without further ado, I think let's go ahead and get into a little bit of an agenda tonight. In fact, I lost my agenda, but I'm going to pull it back up here. So I want to talk about market news tonight, and I want to bring a great definition as we're thinking about all the things that are happening. As you know, you can see in the title here, we've got assets to own when inflation strikes. That's some stuff we're going to be talking about tonight. We're going to bring y'all a couple different things to think about, but I want to talk to you about a particular market definition. And I want you to go look at this on your own. This is your homework assignment for tonight. I want to talk about the 52-week high and the 52-week low, right? So how many of you know what that is, right? When you think about it, it makes sense when you think about what it's saying, but what is the 52-week high and low? Madam VP, what's your thoughts around the 52-week high and low?
Well, the way that I like to keep, you know me, I like to keep things simple. When you're looking at a stock, we're looking at the most expensive or the top dollar amount when we're looking at the 52-week high. How many weeks are in a year? It's 52. So if you break that down, we're looking at a particular stock for 1 year. What's the highest gross amount or yield that stock had? The low would be the lowest stocks or the lowest amount. So I always look, you always want to buy it when it's on sale or clearance, which that's the way the terms I like to talk about it. You want to buy it when it's low because you want to see where you can grow, how much money you can possibly make with that particular stock. Or if you're buying it at a top dollar when it's at a tie, you know, who wants to buy a Gucci bag when it's not on sale? You want to be able to buy it when it's actually affordable and you can actually make more dollar amount, you know, more bang for your buck is the way I like to think about it.
There you go. There you go. Get the Gucci bag when it's on sale. Ain't nobody gonna know. Now we'll know if you come with the bootleg. We'll know, right? People be able to investigate that and be like, oh, they got the bootleg. They got that on sale. On sale. That's not even the real thing. But when you buy it when it's on sale and you get the real deal, it's like, don't nobody know you got it on sale. They just know you spent top dollar. That means you got a little change to spend there. So let me tell y'all a couple key takeaways around the 52-week high. It's the highest and lowest price at which a security has traded during the time period that equates to 1 year, like Madam VP said. Another thing of note is it's based on the daily closing price for the security, right? So when we talk about a security, we're talking about individual stocks, right? Or ETFs or mutual funds, right? What is the high of that item for the day? So if we were to look at the stock price for the Gucci company, right? Or for Ford or for Tesla, right? Which is in the news daily now, right? We look at the price that fund closed at when the markets closed. When the store closed for the day, how much was that item? And that gives you a daily value. And then when we look at the 52-week high and the low, we're looking at what was the highest price it was for that day and what the lowest price it was, for that year. And then in the end of that, I want to say typically the 52-week high kind of represents a resistance level, right? While the 52-week low is more like a support base. So this is the highest it's been, right? And no one really wants to pay more for this top dollar amount for it. And the 52-week low, right, it's kind of that base floor. It's like, I know it's not going to really go below this, right? It's kind of a base level. This gives you the ability to make decisions. So Dr. Quarles, anything you want to add to that?
No, I think both of you guys did a great job summarizing it. It's one of those things where it's important to look at. So you may find an article or you may see something on the news that says, hey, this is the best stock to buy. And you want to use a trading platform that allows you to keep track of stocks that you want to just keep for interest. So maybe looking at the 52-week high, the price is kind of high right now and you want to buy it, but maybe right now is not the time to buy it. And so you want to just keep a watch on it, keep it on your watch list and look for it to go down and possibly buy it at a cheaper price.
There you go. There you go. In fact, back to the original question I brought up, I want to bring up Diana's post. She says she has a diverse portfolio with Schwab and has yet to invest in one particular stock. She says her portfolio is very conservative. But you have those investments. That's good. So Diana, what's one of the stocks that's in your portfolio? So I'm assuming you have a lot of mutual funds in that portfolio with Schwab. So look at your portfolio while you're hanging out with us and tell us what's one of the stocks that's in there in that mutual fund. Or maybe you want to drop some names of some of the mutual funds you've looked at within your portfolio and share that with the group here with us. Of course, again, this is education advice only. No one's your financial advisor. If you're watching this, right, you need to seek professional financial advice from a professional financial counselor. We're here as an investment group, and we're here to focus on growing the wealth in the Black community. And with that being said, Madam VP, do you want to tell everyone about Noire TV and Noire Investment Group while we're here and what we're doing?
Sure. So welcome. If this is your first time joining us, thank you for being here, first of all, because community is everything. Community is the reason why all of us are here. It's the reason why Noire is Noire. And I always like to start with explaining that, Noire started at just a small discussion between a group of friends. Hey, I'm into, trading. I have this, trading platform. And so Madam Founder, Chris Hudson, said, hey, I have an idea. How about we actually have some sort of collective here in Pensacola for Black individuals to put their dollars together to make our money stretch even further, to build education. And so that's what we did. So Noire Investment Group was born. The official mission statement I am going to read to you, which is that we are a unified collective committed to the education and growth of our members and communities through the shared knowledge of investment vehicles towards the creation of generational wealth and wisdom. And I got to tell you, that one of the beautiful things about our group is about our diversity. Now, we're not just talking about what our skin color is, but we have a doctor on the line with us now. We have people in our group who's gone through, I mean, from there's a huge spectrum. You know, there's people who've been trading and been doing investments for years. And then there's some of us who are newer and they don't know some of these simple definitions that we're going through. So whether you have been investing in a long time, whether you're just like, you know what, I got $500 extra dollars, I don't know what to do with it, but I really would like to be in on the game. I want to get my feet wet. Noire can assist you in whatever step you are in your investment or your financial literacy. And so that's kind of where we are. We are looking, as I'm sure Mr. President is going to touch on, looking to grow, looking to just kind of stretch ourselves, not only in Pensacola, but hopefully out further, right, Chris?
That's it. The goal is to grow, and we have our strategy plan coming up. We're going to be introducing that to our group. And as we develop on that strategy plan, we really want to be an asset holder in the area because we've got investments, right? And we want to grow not only our families, right, ourselves, right? Some of us are just out here chilling by ourselves, but some of us have families, some of us have children, and some of us have extended family members who don't know, even if they're not in the area. In fact, I think our one of our newest members is actually from in Virginia. He's actually from Florida, but he lives in Virginia right now, who's joined the club. And so Noire is doing some big things here. And so with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about our topic of the day, which is really focused on inflation. Right. When you think about where we're at right now, I mean, the craziness of the world we're in right now, we're literally on the brink of World War III. Right. And President Putin of Russia has invaded Ukraine. You guys, all should know this by now. And that has sent oil prices and the stock market and grocery stores into a shamble just because of supply and demand. We were already in a shamble because of the pandemic. I'm just saying. I mean, what are y'all thoughts on that? I mean, it's crazy, right? What's something you've been trying to get that you can't get?
Well, my husband is a chef. So we eat. We love grocery shopping. I'm at the grocery store at least once a week. And just the simplest things, some of which I'm going to kind of talk about a little bit as it relates to stock when we're talking about wheat and things like that. But we could just see the decline. We had the toilet paper. Y'all remember when COVID was popping, we couldn't get toilet paper, and so we really have a lot of things that we're not paying attention to. It's kind of like I always say this reference to cybersecurity. Shout out to security folks out there. We don't really recognize the need for security or the need for certain products until we can't get them, until we don't have it. And then it's almost a panic mode. So I don't even think I can name one thing, Chris. I mean, it's been a couple things and I've just been going to different stores, buying in bulk when I can.
That's it. What about you, Dr. Quarles?
Well, I'm not a great cook, and I have to buy things pre-made sometimes. And so one of the things that I noticed was beef gravy. Sounds weird, but like beef gravy in a jar. I went to like 2 stores and they had none. And then I finally found one store and then they had a sign where there's a limit. They wouldn't let you buy more than 2. So it's been mostly with food products that I've seen it.
Wow. Yeah. Now I go to the grocery store, because I do a lot of the grocery shopping in my house, and going and seeing the shelves empty when it comes to meat and beef has been crazy. Right. Chicken has been ridiculous. Right. Getting a hold of chicken. I know that, the chicken producers, they had a lot of issues with people who were working in the factories, getting COVID, and they're having to shut down, and just, craziness with the supply chain, getting chicken. And when I saw, like, normally I would go and I would buy like a 5-pound bag of kind of like chicken breasts or party wings. Right. And then, that's usually around $15 to $20. And then I went in the store and literally it was a 4-pound bag that was available instead of the 5-pound bag. And then it was like $31. It was crazy access to that. But not only did the prices go up, but it's access. So I run a small business, and that small business, I can't get certain supplies like I normally would. So getting to some of the wholesalers to actually get products like just candy and hygiene products that I would put in a vending machine has been hard of lately, and just getting those supplies in. And so prices are going up and supply is short. So, it is what it is. So, with inflation setting in, I want to talk about some stocks that will actually be good with inflation and see what y'all thoughts are on maybe a few of these. And then I know, Madam VP, you have some picks that you want to drop people. You want to talk to people about. And I see in the chat here, Diana came back and she says she actually has Vanguard tax exempt bonds, global real estate, and she likes the fact that they have an intelligent robo-advisor. So she's shouting out Schwab for what they're providing to her. So Vanguard tax exempt bonds. Yeah, you are definitely on the conservative side of the actual market value. But, now is actually maybe a good time, right? So don't be shameful, though. Don't be shy. Go get you some stock. Go find some stuff that's on sale and then just buy it. So open up a trading account. So it sounds like you have a retirement account, but open up a trading account so you can just go buy some individual shares and see what you like, right? If you like if you like real estate, buy some REITs, right? It looks like you have some in your retirement account, and you can mimic a lot of the things you have in your retirement account in your trading account. So sounds kind of cool. Now, she did also say no more Russian vodka. Right, that's something that we're definitely in short supply for, right? Is that Russian vodka? You're gonna have to find you a new supply chain. What's another good vodka we can get? Can we get vodka from Puerto Rico like we can get Puerto Rican rum? I don't know. Does Puerto Rico make good vodka, or is it just Russia? Russia's the only place you can get good vodka from. That's what they're known for.
Yeah. They do it best. Let's say that they do it best.
They do it best. Okay, awesome. So I want to walk down this article. I guess I can go ahead and share this article with everyone. Let me see if I can share my screen real fast. And this is an article that came down from actually a company called Wells Fargo, right, which is a humongous bank. And they have a few things that they mention. Let's see here. It doesn't look like I can share my screen for some reason. That's okay. But they wrote an article called here's the best assets to own when inflation strikes. And so they talked about a few assets that might actually be good. So while we're dealing with inflation, one of the first things they mentioned was the United States Oil Fund, which is a major ETF that tracks the price of oil, and it's up 73% in the past 12 months so far. So inflation started setting in a while ago, and it's up almost 100%, so 73%. And that's a large jump. That's a larger jump than most other ETFs today that are tracking that asset class. What do y'all think about that? Have y'all seen oil prices spike? How much is a barrel of oil now?
Woof. Look, we have a rule in my house now. You don't let it get past half a tank. Don't you come home with it past a half a tank, because we got to keep it. We can't. I have friends on the West Coast right now, $6, $7 for 1 gallon. Crazy.
Yeah, it is no joke. How about you, Dr. Quarles? You feeling it at the pump?
Oh, most definitely. We have a lot of drivers at my house, so most definitely. But one of the things that the article pointed out was, oil is historically one of the stocks that provides some income and some growth all the way back to analysis in 2000. So every time inflation is high, oil is going to be one of the number one things that's going to go up as well, which we all see. So every time inflation is bad, gas prices are bad. Just like right before the last economic recession that we went through back in like 2008, 2009, we we had all SUVs at the time. And so I remember paying, $100. If you could get to $100 because the pump was cut off at $75. So every single time. So it's one of those things where oil is kind of tied to inflation. So inflation is not a bad thing. It's just a matter of looking for what goes up during inflation.
That's a very good point that you brought out. So we know it's not that inflation is the bad thing. We know inflation is going to happen. So the more we know, the better we can prepare for it. So when it does happen, we know what to do with our money. And then we go invest in things that, do I say inflation proof, or do I just say that are good to invest in when inflation is happening? I mean, when it's basketball season, people are investing in Michael Jordans, right? When it's football season, people are investing in, Drew Brees jerseys and other things like that. When it's hockey season, I guess people still buy Gretzky jerseys. I don't know. But when it's inflation season, you buy all ETFs and stocks. And in fact, you should probably buy it before inflation happens, right?
Yes.
That way you can benefit from it. Actually, another thing that's on here is actually gold, right? Just owning gold stocks. How many of you all own gold, like physically own gold? Don't put it all out there. Don't tell me how much you got, because I might swing by your house. But how many of y'all own a little gold, right? I ain't talking about in a chain. That's not real. That's not solid gold, right? I want the 1 ounce rounds. I want the 0.10 ounce rounds, the 1/10 of an ounce. I want the solid gold. I want that stuff that won't fade or turn your neck green, right? The real stuff. Anybody own some stuff like that? So gold right now is up 16%. There is a Spider Gold Trust Fund, ETF fund, that is the ticker symbol is GLD. So it's up 1 year, roughly 16%. Another one that I want to shout out and think through is defensive stocks. So Invesco Defensive Equity, DEF, is up 10%, right? I guess the war machine is at work. Anytime it looks like a war is about to pop off, I guess that's the time to just go ahead and make sure you've got some stocks. You got some stuff in your fund that's defense oriented. What are y'all thoughts about that?
Diversity is key. Diversity is key.
Yeah,
sure.
I totally agree. One of the things the article mentions, kind of right behind oil, are emerging market ETFs. And those are kind of interesting because those are, ETFs based on markets that aren't as fully developed as, what you would consider in a developing country. And so the entry point for a lot of those emerging market ETFs are usually a lot lower. So it's cheaper a lot of times to get in on those. And those tend to grow faster than inflation. So like when you said earlier, inflation proof, it's really not inflation proof. It's just a matter of seeing if you can beat inflation. So if the inflation rate is 5%, then you need to be investing in things that are going to return you higher than 5%. So a lot of the things that you're mentioning, over 10%, 17%, 18%, 78%, like that's how you beat inflation, is you out earn it.
I like that. That's why we got the doctor on the phone call, right? The doctor has the answers. If y'all got questions,
we talking about strategy now, y'all. Strategy, yes.
The doctor is in the house. Look, if y'all got questions for the doctor or for Noire Investment Group, make sure y'all drop those in the chat. Go ahead and let me know what stocks you're looking at to beat inflation tonight. We're just walking through this article as a quick reminder to talk about assets to own when inflation strikes. And while we're at it, if you haven't liked Noire Investment Group on Facebook, I want you to go to Facebook right now and type in Noire Investment Group. Go ahead and put that, go to Facebook, go ahead and do that. Let me bring it up on the screen real fast. Noire Investment Group, because we want you to actually hang out with us. So go to Noire Investment Group and go ahead and like that. That way you can follow us, you can follow up with these chats. And if you're interested in joining the Noire Investment Group, reach out to us. There's actually an email address. Right now, we're in the middle of a season. We're in season 2 right now of Noire Investment Group. But if you're interested, send us a quick email, noireinvestmentgroup@gmail.com. And let's have a conversation. Let's talk about you wanting to be a part of this investment group. All right? All right. Let's keep it rolling. Doctor, what other inflation-proof or beating inflation stocks, ETFs, mutual funds do you have that you might be interested in dropping for the people?
Anything that's a spider stock. Because everything that I hear is you never want to bet against the S&P 500. So these are the top performing companies out there on the market, right? And the spider mimics all of the different industries. So any industry that you can think of, any industry sector, there's a spider stock that's an ETF that has a whole bunch of companies that are top companies in S&P 500 in that sector. And so when you purchase spider stocks, I think it's SPDR, all of them are based on not sure things, but companies that have proven themselves over the long haul. And they tend to out-earn inflation by at least double consistently.
Wow. Look, the doctor is just dropping knowledge. Can you tell me what is an ETF? You mentioned it. I know I mentioned it earlier as well. Can you tell me what an ETF is? What makes an ETF kind of cool?
So an ETF is kind of cool for people like me. So I can't purchase a ton of Google today until the Google stock price flips, right? But I can have a piece of companies like Google when I purchase an ETF. So an ETF usually is around a theme. So say real estate ETFs. So it's going to contain a lot of different real estate companies, and you get to buy a portion of that company when you purchase that ETF. So it's kind of bulk buying, like shopping at Sam's. That's kind of how I look at buying an ETF, where you get more bang for your buck.
I like it. That's why we got the doctor here.
I love it. It's more like a grab bag, right? That's the way that I think about it. Like a little, when you go to a party and you get a little party favor bag, you got a little bit of everything. You got a little toy, you got a little this and that. But the spider, I just wanted to piggyback on what Dr. Quarles mentioned. SPDR, the spider sector ETFs, the categories are very broad. So real estate is one, utilities is one, healthcare is one. And it's actually, to me, probably a better way to understand. Would you say, Dr. Quarles, like investing to kind of get your foot in the door instead of trying to almost like pick a needle out of a haystack, looking for particular types and following, particular type of stocks. My husband and I started investing. I mean, he would have these long lists. I mean, he would literally sit there and write every ticker down and look at highs and lows. And I mean, it takes you so long. But if you can tap into a spider ETF, you get a grab bag, and half of that work is really almost kind of done for you in a way.
Exactly.
Y'all so smart. Y'all gonna make me have to go invest some money tonight.
Right. Make some money.
I'm gonna go buy some oil tonight.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, Madam VP, I know you had some information that you wanted to share with us. You wanted to make sure that the listeners had some options on some things to buy tonight. Go ahead and talk about that.
I did. And one of the things that I like to circle back around when we're having a conversation on investment, especially if we're targeting and talking to our community, the African American community, a lot of times we are detached or out of touch with how important the financial climate is to our daily lives, right? A lot of us, if we've never been introduced to the stock market, we don't understand what an S&P is. We don't understand what ETFs are. A lot of this can kind of just be ignored. And I was having a conversation the other day, and I heard someone say, "Why are Americans freaking out about a war that's in Ukraine?" Right? Have y'all heard that? I mean, some people are now, we're at a point where we're just now understanding that it's real. But over a month ago, we're at a month now. When it first happened, it's like, why do Americans care? You know, I go get my McDonald's, I go to Walmart, and my life is still going. And so one of the things that I really wanted to talk about today, Mr. President, was particularly, we talked about the oil, but also the wheat supply and certain wheat stocks that if you are an investor, you may want to take a look at that are maybe profitable for you. And then on the other hand, if you just tuned into Noire Investment TV, you don't know what we're talking about for investing, sister, brother, you need to go get some wheat. And so there's a great article that Yahoo Finance put out, and it's called 10 Wheat Stocks to Buy Now. But one of the things that they break down in this particular in this article is where our wheat comes from. You know, more Americans, especially I know Black families, we eat a lot of pasta. You know, we eat a lot of cereal. You know, this is for our kids. This is daily living. This is something that is part of our daily life. And some people don't know. We're talking about Russia and Ukraine. They're responsible for over 14% of the global wheat supply, y'all. Meaning they are growing it. So if their country has been destroyed, if they're unable to grow, you know, we kind of were already in a sticky situation with wheat. It's going to become more and more of a precious commodity, so to speak. So the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United States, they just released a report in early March and talked about these numbers that are rising for wheat and how it's going to hit the consumer. Kind of like, Chris, what you said earlier. Sometimes you're not even going to be able to get it. It's not even going to be on the shelves for you to buy, much less the price that you bought it, you know, 6 months before and a year before. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have a portfolio and you can run to Walmart or Sam's and stock up on your wheat, please, please, please do so. Get a tote, put it in a tote, and stick it away for a rainy day. But 3 companies I took a look at for investment, for investors rather. One of my favorite ones that I'm looking at is the Archer Daniels Midland Company. I don't know if you all are familiar with that, but the ticker is ADM. They're slightly down right now, about 4%. It's a little bit more of a kind of a mid-range. It's about $87. I just checked it today, what it's going for. But this particular stock, I like, again, like Mr. President said, we're not financial advisors. This is not telling you go out and buy a bunch of the stock. But what we're looking at when we're talking about investing in wheat, for me, is also investing in wheat-based products, right? So this particular company is looking at plant-based green products, and one of my favorites, which is the meatless market. Impossible Burger. Are you about it, Mr. President? Are you about it, Dr. Quarles? Impossible Burgers.
I'm about it. They're actually pretty amazing.
I'm saying, I haven't been a meat eater since I was 10 or 11. So that's the future. So the projected sales with this particular company, they said in 2030 is supposed to be pretty big. So again, that's Archer Daniels Midland Company. Another one is MGP Ingredients, which is also a really big one that they said you may want to just take a look at. The price of that one right now is a little bit more affordable, about $39 for that stock, which is, you know, kind of more in the budget. And then if you're kind of a thrifty shopper like me, and then the last one they have is Bunge, B-U-N-G-E Ltd Limited. They're down right now slightly, but again, what we talked about earlier, you don't want to buy it when it's at its high. You want to buy it when it's low so that you have some room to grow. So, Mr. President, I'm sure we can maybe post this article. I just wanted to give a little bit of background on the conversation around wheat, where we're going to be going the next year or so, and what we can do as consumers, even if we are not investors quite yet.
Right about that. And what I did while you were talking, Madam VP, is I actually posted both articles in the chat. So if you are online, you should see that in the chat and can click and follow along with us as we're walking through these articles. For whatever reason, my screen share isn't working right now for me to share this on the screen. But we'll also post this on our Facebook page, Noire Investment Group. So make sure you follow us. That's Noire Investment Group. And if you follow us, right, you'll get to pay attention to what we're looking at. And then we also put out regular investing news on a regular basis because we want the community to grow. And we want people to see that there are people who look like you and me, right? You and me that are out here doing this. We're talking about it. There's some great podcasts out there, but we're right here in your community, right here in Northwest Florida. We are in the Colas territory, and we out here about it. We out here doing it. So if you're interested in investing, you're about it, or you want to be about it, hook up with us. Noire Investment Group. Holla at us. Follow us on Facebook. Not just to get the numbers up, we're focused on building community. So if you're about that, holla at us, get with us. And don't forget also, shoot us a quick email. That's noireinvestmentgroup@gmail.com. noireinvestmentgroup@gmail.com. Just send us a quick email. Say hello. Let us know what interests you. Let us know what you're wanting to get into. Let us know if you're interested in joining us. Because, I mean, I'm telling you, we're finna do some growth things here coming up real quick, fast, and in a hurry. And you don't want to miss that boat when we open up the next. Oh, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut because I shouldn't be putting them things out there in the public right now. Oh, it's coming. All right, y'all. Final words for the night. I'll start with Dr. Coral, since you're our newest member of Noire TV. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'll leave you with the final words first.
Okay, well, I enjoyed this. This is my first time. I love talking about money, and I just want to encourage anyone who's out there to get started. I was kind of slow to get started. My husband was kind of quicker on the draw. But once you get into it, it's like Angie was saying, you just pay attention to what's going on in the world. And you just think about, well, what does that mean for the money connected to what's going on in the world? And it's really, a lot of times, it's as simple as that. So it's not difficult, it's not hard, and it's something you definitely can do and that you can start at any time with any amount of money. It doesn't take a whole lot of money to get started.
Dope. Madam VP.
Well, again, always lovely to be around family. Y'all know y'all my family. And the really big thing I want to point out is the education portion in this. Don't feel intimidated. Don't feel like I don't have any idea how I would even fit into this conversation or this group. Please still reach out to us because, like I said before, we're doing this for generational wealth. So you can't teach what you don't know. And so if you're able to get the education and you're able to link up with other people who have that information, then you can share with your relatives, share with your kids, which is very beautiful, and with other people in the community as well.
For sure. And with that being said, actually, there's one quick question I want to bring up that we had in chat. I forgot to bring up earlier. Diana been hanging out with us all night. So she mentioned that with the Fed projected to increase interest rates, is investing in real estate still a good idea? So we're talking about, I think she's actually focused on actual physical property real estate, like I was talking about physical possession of gold. So what are y'all takes on that real fast?
I'll let Dr. Quarles go first on that one.
So for me, when you look at real estate stocks, especially like real estate ETFs, these are the larger companies who have long-term growth strategies and are looking for growth over the long haul. And their prices aren't as fickle as what you would consider like our normal residential market where we just buy and sell houses. And so when you look at real estate ETFs, it's usually a combination of residential, industrial, and commercial real estate. And so you're looking at things that are more long-term buys that have steady growth, right? They're not going to shoot up overnight and then be down the next day. So it's usually growth that goes, steady growth that goes like this over time. And that's what you're looking for when you're an investor vice a trader who's just looking at little short spurts of time. So I would consider, even though the Feds are raising interest rates, it's not going to greatly impact the long-term growth of those ETFs, real estate ETFs.
Gotcha. And I think even still, if you get a good price on a house, right? And I guess it's really, even if you're taking physical possession of property, it's still, you have the concept of a trader versus an investor, right? Someone who is flipping a house, right? A trader, right? Versus someone who is investing in long-term rental income, right? Which will be more like an investor. So you're looking for a long-term dividend or growth opportunity with that property that you're buying. So when we think about it, if you're in the trading game, right, or you're in the flipping house game, right, the interest rate matters less to you overall, just simply because you're going to be in and out of it, versus someone who is a long-term real estate holder. But as long as the real estate, I think the market price that the Fed is going to raise, I think they're going to go up 1% this year, is still lower than the average interest rate that has existed overall. So there, I think it still will be below 4%. So even then, if you buy long-term gain in real property, you're still in a good position, because the market demands for housing, especially mid-range and low-income housing, is so high. I watched a great YouTube video that talked about how we got into this housing crunch with affordable housing, and that's probably the more appropriate term, affordable housing, right, versus your upper end housing. But with that being said, the interest rate will still be low enough that it will not impact the overall cost of your market to sale ratio for rental income, right? So you're expecting that to be a part of your rental income value, right? So just like any business owner, if you have a fry store, if you're creating a McDonald's lookalike, right, you got to add the cost of fries, the cost of grease, right, the cost of that hamburger, that lettuce, that tomato. You got to add all those costs in to make a hamburger, right? And how many can you sell? So in the real estate game, you're adding in the cost of interest into how much your rental costs are. And as long as you are making a good profit, I look for a cash flow of $200 in real estate, in physical real estate. If I can cash flow $200 or more long term, then I think I have something that will be great. That's on the lower end, but that's what I look for, $200 as a floor. And that's for me, right, and what I do. So hopefully that answered your question there, Diane. I think we got everything. And she also says thank you at the end. She was encouraged to do more research in the ETF. So I'm glad that was of good advice for you, Diane. And hang out with us. We love for you to hang out with us a little more as well. So I think on that note,
if I could piggyback one thing on the real estate aspect as well, Chris, is that also think outside the box when it comes to physical real estate. As a homeowner myself and as a grower of food, if you are investing in property and land and a home, and you can cut some of these costs that we're talking about and, work against that inflation, that also could be beneficial as well, because we've been able to save just by having a garden or a co-op or trading or things like that. So always keep your research going when it comes to all of your investment plans, for sure.
I like that. So not even just real estate of a house, but actually buying land that can then be farmed to actually create a crop that produces value.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. Dope. All right. Well, I don't think I have any additional last words than that. So I just want to thank everyone for their time tonight. Thank you all, audience who's here hanging out with us for Noire TV. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Say it again, 2 weeks. In the meantime, make sure you join us at Noire Investment Group at gmail.com. Send us a quick chat. Send us a quick conversation, what you thought about tonight's live stream. And if you have some questions for a future show, send us those suggestions. And don't forget to follow us at Facebook at Noire Investment Group. And we will see you all on the rebound. Peace.
Bye.